Today we celebrate the memorial of Saint Philip Neri. There's a good story about him I heard years ago. One day Philip saw a criminal sentenced to death passing by. People were condemning him furiously, but Saint Philip bowed his head before the criminal and prayed, "Lord, if I had been in his situation, it could have been worse. So help me, Lord." My friends, I certainly can identify my experience with this story. For example, when I listen to people sharing their tough stories, I often found myself saying, "Golly, this person is so good and holy." Though I did not do what he did, it could have been much worse if I were in his situation. Our Vietnamese ancestors have a saying that goes, "Vô tri bất mộ," meaning no knowledge, no love. When we don't know a person's situation, we often fail to love that person and easily criticize or even condemn him or her. And often, when I came to know someone's real situation and context with their struggles, I asked myself, how could he or she even manage and survive that? That means the person would be much better than me if he or she were in my situation, and I would be much worse than him or her if I had to face his or her tough situation. This experience is very humbling, my friends. It's a reminder for me personally that I still need to grow much in patience, in understanding, and especially in humility. I know a priest in France who once said, "We must distinguish for our own sake between violators and sinners." We may only say a little bit about the former and should not say anything about the latter. Why? Well, I think because we may see someone violating some rules and punished, but we can never ever judge the state of the soul of a person. In this world, everyone is a sinner, though many are not imprisoned or punished. Someone who is in prison now could be holier than someone outside. At times we are tempted to criticize someone of living in the state of sin and exclude them from our circle, from our midst, from our community. But who is not in the state of sin? Who is not? Everyone is in the state of sin, and that's why everyone is in need of salvation, granted only by our loving God in every moment, always. Only God can know how sinful a person is because he sees the depths of the person. No human person has the capacity or the right to judge the state of the soul of another person. So my friends, as we continue our journey, may we remember the words of Jesus telling the people who thought they were okay and wanted to punish an adulteress, a violator of the law, by stoning. Jesus said, "Let him who is without sin among you be the first to cast a stone at her." And may we be the first to drop the stone from our hand. Now, back to the truth. In this world, everyone is a sinner though many are not imprisoned or punished. Someone who is in prison could be holier than someone outside, as I said. That's why Jesus said that people who were condemned as public sinners, like prostitutes and tax collectors of his time, would enter into heaven before the scribes and Pharisees, who looked good and holy in public. My friends, may Saint Philip Neri today intercede for us to be humble like him. And may the Lord be merciful to us sinners.